These long shadows sometimes reach too deeply into my soul. These are the moments where I can now reflect and regain my complete psyche. These are the moments I can deal away with the personal, unconscious, and find inside me the royalty that blazes higher into the realms of divinity. I have found within me my unconscious urging to break free from the slumber of human activity that surrounds me and tries to shackle me into its culture. I am no culture. I am an individual breaking the boundaries of the culture that encircles me. I am pushing ever further into the unknown. And I can only do this by returning to chaos and there committing myself to the elements of the world, of the cosmos, taking on board every unknown factor of consciousness and revitalizing it into a new conscious format. I become the master of the elements, of the wind, of the earth, of water, of air, and I will make them into their spiritualized forms, hence and from whence they came. But now, not in the format of a human, small-minded culture, always warring with these chaotic elements of creation, always warring with their inability to affect any real understanding of the deep unconscious. So unconscious that it leaves them ignorant in the face of their own cruelties. These are the warring nations who fester on digging deep into their ancestry and trying to find for themselves a resolution, but only succeed so far in forgetting about yesterday's travail. So deep have they dug that they can now see the edge of their own grave as we move into the apocalyptic era, when humanity can no more see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is the cruel world, the material world, upon which they think they can contain through scientific endeavour and technological expertise. But this is no mastery of the unconscious. This is only mastery of the materialization of spirit. But truly, evolution is not devolution. It is not development in the physical sense, in the sensate world where we gratify ourselves with discoveries in earth, in air, in fire. In water. No, they do not see that the great unconscious is a lumen naturae, a spirit, a light permeating everything, invisible to its conscious formats, but actually blinding in its omniscience. It is there to be awoken in the minds of humanity. If humanity wants to ascend back into the spirit realms from whence and hence it gave birth. That is the nature of the self, to find that God is within, and it's our higher self. So to master these elements, it is not to be digging for holes. It is not to be creating noxious gases unknown to the natural world. It is not to be creating liquid chemicals that nature cannot degrade quick enough before its own suffering groans in the face of human endeavour. No. It is the idea that we can live so much lightly upon the earth's soil, simply, without exploitation, without tearing at the chest of creation in order to suck out its last breath. No, it is this idea that as a human being we discover within us the deep, deep unconscious. And to give it real form and achievement. By the egalitarian approach to all beings, unconscious as they are, on this planet. And to know that from whence we evolved in tooth and claw, we must accept the suffering as all beings on this planet suffer. Whether you be plant or animal, or amoeba, bacteria. And that suffering brings on death. And these should be celebrated as the way of life. But not to be premeditated, and not to be induced upon your fellow being, but to understand it from within. And when we discover that deeper side of us, we will realize that we are all individual. A striving to be equal partners in a world that is slowly becoming objectivized in the name of human achievement. And because of this, lopsided, where the subjective is now taken for granted as the all superior means to become whatever you want to become. Such has the mind grown into a material consciousness that it feels its earthly bound forms are the most prominent achievements it can will to happen or will to power. That is absolutely true, that humanity has become the materialistic beast towards its own anchorage and loss of freedom on a planet that shackles it within its blinded vision. No, go deeper, and what do you find? The interconnectedness of all things, the intrapersonal, where every stone that you touch also has the right to existence and the right to its own unconscious motivation. That's what makes us equal, when we share in this unconscious motivation to be and not to contort, not to blind us to the image of our origins, but to show the path back there. We have fallen and we must ascend again. And to do this, we must go beyond human culture. We must find the deep unconscious, the one that is complete within us. We must become both male and female, as a bird, as a stone, as a plant, as a sea. Everything has an unconscious origin. And maybe the beauty of humanity was the fact that it could fall from this great impersonal world and become personal, so that we can relish those moments when we transcend again back into the impersonal and see ourselves as unified with everything. Not a mere reflection, but a self-actualization of the great oneness of creation. Creation augmented to the level of the spirit and not just a physical format for human exploitation. This is the true light of dreams, the ones that we must awaken to. And such is the beast waiting, lying, to bring forth that messianic legacy of the one who knows, the one who will come forth from the sands, from the deserts, and bring hope. That sprite left at the bottom of Pandora's box when all other evils had fled in a scurry to the four corners of the world. No, that one hope looks up and still sees the light shining. And this one hope now rests on the great shoulders of him or her. who saddles the sands of sanity. Buried once, but now slowly being revealed in the winds of change. The great Sphinx doesn't smile, doesn't wink, doesn't smell, it doesn't hear. It just knows. It is being. The great Sphinx will arise. Not through movement, but through mind. It will capture the hearts of all the living. And it will soften them and make them like jelly, floating like amoeba in the sea. Lost now to human exploitation. Now that their hearts can see the great impersonal acting upon them in the currents of change and higher consciousness. These are the means by which humanity will be saved. The messianic legacy that will bring upon this planet an heir. That is the Sphinx, the androgynous being. Who knows only the complete self, the true self, the greater self, the godly self. And who will emerge from the melting sands to reveal a luscious paradise of Mother Nature's creation. The underground flowing rivers will come to the surface. And once again, the Sphinx's feet burned and salt dried. In its long, deep slumber. Will once again paddle with vibrant fish and slippery stones and drink from the blood of creation.